Just a gorgeous fall afternoon in the heart of Texas. No weather to speak of. Sun out, roof open. Yes, yes, and yes. A great day for football at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports.
And this will wind up way short. Zone, so that's going to move the ball all the way up to the 40-yard line.
Here we go.
Henry up the middle. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Here now, 2nd and 4. To throw is Prescott. He'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. 14 yards, good for a Cowboy first down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss.
Here we go, 47.
Again, it's Henry. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. You talk about this Washington defense. This unit, they've struggled a little bit against the pass, ranked number 21 in the league.
And even though that's not the greatest ranking in the world, one thing you can say,
the Commanders are going to get there as he's taken down. Dorrance Armstrong able to get him down for a loss of 11. And it brings up 4th down. On is the punter man as he boots this one away. Fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 15-yard line. It's just a 30-yard punt that time, no return. And the Commanders will take over, but backed up deep in their own territory. First carry for Nick Chubb. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. Well, this defense for the Cowboys, they were quite formidable in the win over Philly a week ago.
And what I saw on film was a nearly unstoppable pass rush. 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries given up. So now what do you do on offense? You just max protect, keep everyone in and run the ball, or maybe just 1 or 2 receiver routes in order to try and keep your quarterback upright.
And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he'll get positive yardage there as he'll be touched down. That's probably as simple of a throw as he'll have all game.
And good for everyone. Good for his completion percentage. Good for the receptions for the receivers. But you know how they work on that. They have footballs with no laces. So that as soon as you get the snap, you're just throwing the football. All right? You're not trying to find the laces and grip it a certain way. That takes time. Just get the ball and throw it. So that's how they practice it all the time now, too.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Trayvon Diggs. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Cowboy defense has a touchdown. The mistake there by the offense, Charles, they tried to pick on a Pro Bowl corner in coverage there, and not the smartest decision. He reminded him that he was a Pro Bowl corner with not only the pick, but the pick 6.
And those guys who have that designation, sometimes they get a little bit bored in games because people try to avoid them. They absolutely love it when they get challenged, and it's a chance to remind everyone exactly why they were tabbed as one of the best in the league the prior season.
Oh, a good return up past the 30. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, still a good return. They'll start the drive right around the 37. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick six, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
Yeah, and sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick six and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to atone.
Let's go now.
Throwing now is Daniels. He finds his man, complete. That's Jenkins. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
Brandon, so many times we see the crossing route start as a quick hitter, but in this play, he had time in the pocket and waited for him to clear going across.
Cut 19! Cut 19!
Off the play fake, Daniels. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. 27 yards there on a very nice third down conversion. So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 down at the 31. Coming right, this is Chubb on the toss. And he stopped immediately there. Marquise Bell in on that stop. You look at this Cowboy defense. They were quite formidable in the win over the Eagles a week ago.
And what I saw on film was nearly an unstoppable pass rush. They had 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries. So now do you just max protect on offense, keep everyone in and run, 1 or 2 receiver routes to make sure your quarterback stays up? We'll soon find out.
Yeah, that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
Well, you know me, whether you need it or not, I'm going to give a little unsolicited advice. Just throw it downfield out of the pocket only if you're absolutely sure. Otherwise, use your running ability and try and get those yards a safer way.
To the air goes Daniels. There's a short one pulled in by Simmett. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down about the 21 or 22. His first catch there, good for 10 yards and a first down. Now he'll try to run with this. And maybe the wrong read there as he's going to go down immediately. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. And not a lot of success to be found there.
Oh, you got that right, partner, because if you're trying to make guys miss about 10 yards or so downfield, that's a pretty good play. But if you've got to do it in your own backfield, I consider that a problem. That doesn't work too well.
19 Tiger, 19 Tiger.
Play action, now it's Daniels. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. 9th play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long. Now here's a throw out wide. Oh, this might be a double pass. And that'll be incomplete. Dipping into the bag of tricks there, but it does not work out, and it's 4th down now. And his kick is good, and that'll do it for the first quarter of play. After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Kick team out there for the Commanders as they send this one away. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And able to get this out to the 25. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain. They'll try the right side with Henry. The 20. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. That one good for 37 yards.
He had his eyes on the end zone once he hit the secondary, but they're finally able to slow him down.
Yeah, and I've got to look at this one from the defensive point of view. You just mentioned finally able to slow him down. They've got to figure out a way to make that at the point of attack, at the line of scrimmage, because once he gets through, he's shredding them.
And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line.
That's good hard running right there on 1st and goal. That gets them down to the 2 and puts a lot more pressure on that defense.
Yeah!
Henry is in. Touchdown, Dallas.
You think back to some of the great goal line bruisers of the past, the Earl Campbells, the John Riggins, the Marshawn Lynches. I think you can put Derrick Henry right in that group as he scores there with another patented Derrick Henry run.
Extra point good by Hopkins. And that pushes the lead up to 11. The kick team out there for the Cowboys as they run up to send this one away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. Their deficit is 11, 14-3, and needing to get something going here as they come up on 1st and 10. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Defenses always talk about earning the right to rush the passer on 3rd down, and you know what offenses want? Win 1st down so they can set things up for themselves better.
And that wasn't helpful there. Not a big impact on 1st down. Now Daniels. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
Daniels looking to throw. Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. And they will finally bring this run back to an end, but not before he's down inside the 5-yard line at the 4. So that changes things. You get the interception, and then to boot, a good return tacked on.
And really, it was down to him versus the quarterback on the return, and that's one you would think the defender would win. But a nice job there of seeing the play all the way to the end and making the tackle by the QB.
Partner, this is almost an unwinnable spot for a defense. They have to come right out for a 1st and goal trying to stop them. But let me hold on a second. Let me take that back real quick. They can win here if they force a field goal try. Still a long ways away from that happening. But that...
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Derrick Henry with career touchdown number 125, moving him into a tie with Walter Payton on the all-time list. And the Cowboys are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. The kick team out there for the Cowboys as they run up to send this one away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down.
Ready.
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. Bulldozes past him. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Ready.
Second down, here's Chubb again. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. He'll lose a yard on the play, so now they need 3 yards on third down.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Come on. Set, go.
Here's Daniels. That is caught. He's in the space past the 25. Touchdown, Washington. A great play there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Commanders get a bit closer. And that is the definition of yards after catch. They go short on the pass, and the receiver does the rest.
Seems so harmless, doesn't it? To throw it underneath, a short pass like that. But boy, it gets dangerous in the hands of the right receiver as he makes a move and takes it the distance.
Washington kick team back out there now as they will send this one away. And we will not have a run back here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 20-yard line. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles' defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack. And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. He'll fire deep downfield for Lamb. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
You always think about picking up the first down, but in this case, they were thinking about something bigger. They were thinking about the home run shot and took it downfield. Unable to connect, but I admire the effort.
And good coverage there by the punt team. They're able to get down there and drop him with authority. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10, right at the 50-yard line. From the gun, it's a give to Chubb. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Ball placed at the 45 for 2nd and 5. To throw is Daniels. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They're giving him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Looking to throw. Daniels. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Kind of a fine line when you're setting up the screen. You don't want to throw it too early to have the defense react too quickly. And you definitely don't want to throw it too late. And that way it's not formed perfectly. Got to make sure you hit it just right.
And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. And this will be taken at the 13. Only 29 yards on the punt there. Definitely not his best. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And these guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
And that's one of those plays where it's hard to keep 2 eyes on the football when you know the contact's coming, let alone getting 2 hands around it, hugging it to your body, and absorbing the hit, even for those big tight ends who you would think could absorb that contact.
Here's Prescott. Over the middle, hauled in by Smith-Schuster. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. Now Prescott, staying on his feet, dancing to his left. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. Now a timeout called for by the offense, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the 1st half.
Yeah, here we go. Right there,
From the shotgun, it's Prescott. Flushed out right. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a 1st down. The Cowboys going to use their 2nd timeout now, as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. Escaping the pressure right. Open man, right side, it's Lamb. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another 1st down.
Yeah. Here we go.
Out of the gun, here's Prescott. He's got Higbee complete right side. The Cowboys signal for their 3rd and final timeout. So as they talk it over, we step aside. 2nd and 9.
Yeah, here we go.
Prescott. Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercept. Oh, they try a lateral on the return, and now the ball's loose. And he will score. Touchdown, Cowboys. But that's got to be so disappointing for a defense. You force the fumble, think you got a chance at a turnover, and instead, not only do you give up the football, you also give up a touchdown as well.
Yeah, you just think to yourself, you've done all the hard work, right? You forced the fumble, but when they didn't come up with it, I think they relaxed a little bit, or maybe lost their focus as well, and it ended up turning out to be a touchdown against them.
And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And with 10 seconds left, not really enough time to put something together. Slings this deep from McLaurin. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Trying to get something positive to happen here before the break, and they sure need it. They went for the big one, but it winds up incomplete.
Now a 2nd and 10. A final shot before break. Daniels slings this deep from McLaurin. That's caught inside the 20. And he takes this down deep on the Cowboys side of the field. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. Washington down on the scoreboard, but they are getting the football first here, and we are back underway on EA Sports. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, kind of a costly one, as he won't make... To the 20.
At their own 18-yard line.
The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball to the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
Another modest gain there on that one, and I think, Charles, you can probably pin part of the deficit on a failure on their part to really get this ground game established.
Yeah, and they've really struggled to be multidimensional in this one, haven't they, partner? Because they have to be extremely one-dimensional now if they hope to get back into this game. They have to do it by throwing the football and hope to have success through the air. He decided to run a hitch route. It really helped to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
18 Cardinal, 18 Cardinal. Ready.
Daniels from the gun on 3rd down. And he'll be touched out here, but not before he does pick up the first.
Cowboy 80.
It's a gain of 17 yards. First down, Washington.
Cougar 19. Go.
Working out of the gun, Daniels. And that's complete to McCaffrey. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. They'll let this go for the end zone. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
And that's where you're counting on a receiver's size being an advantage. They were hoping he could go up the top of a smaller DB and haul that one in. A good thought, but that time it didn't work out.
A toss play to Chubb. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. They're down here in the 3rd quarter trying to get something going. Going to the outside there didn't work out, though.
Yeah, and from the cheap seats and from where you and I are sitting, we did pay a pretty good price to get in here, right? You often wonder to yourself, why do you make that type of a call? That one went for no gain. But I think this offense thinks to itself, if we keep running these plays, eventually something may pop. It just didn't on that one.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Pass taken in by his big tight end. He will have the first down and a bit more. Touchdown, Washington! Ben Sinnott, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Commanders are able to cut into that deficit. And now the Washington offense going to stay out there and go for 2.
Washington will line up for a 2-point conversion.
Daniels going to try and throw for it. And no, it falls incomplete. So the 2-point conversion no good. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. Up to midfield. And he'll go out of bounds, but 10 yards inside of enemy territory at the 40. Great return.
Partner, when I was in college, we used to have these things called game maxims that we did before every game. One of them said, press the kicking game. For here's where the breaks are made. It's the area of hidden yardage. How about that return? Flipping the field, taking it past the 50, and getting things set up to start the series.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. First target, first catch, and a first down.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
And that is caught, but the back judge right there to say incomplete.
I certainly like the idea. You're down on their side of the field. Get your big play guy involved. That time, they put one up for him to see if he can pull it down in the end zone, but the coverage was good, and it winds up incomplete.
Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Coverage was awfully tight there on third down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up fourth down.
Hopkins' kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So a nice kick there as they are able to add on to their lead.
And that's exactly what you're looking to do. Maneuver yourself into range. That way, if your drive stalls out, you're able to get something out of it. And they do so right there.
And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. A strong showing their last time out. They scored the touchdown, but, Charles, they look up, and they're still down double digits, so you feel like just to keep pace, this drive probably needs to end in the end zone as well.
Yeah, and I think the best move for them is to not worry about how far they are down on the scoreboard, but to just remember the last drive and how it ended. Go ahead and try and repeat that. Then you can look at the scoreboard and see where this game is.
Still 9 yards to go on second down from the 27.
Come on.
Back to throw. Daniels. Oh, that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a third down. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
Panther 11.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. And that will be incomplete.
Looks like another empty possession offensively. And you're at that point of the game where you can't afford too many more of these. So this is going to require some heavy thinking on the sideline to figure out what they can do to crack this defense.
It's taken to the 26. It's a 45-yard punt, but a decent return there of 9 yards. And they will take over 1st and 10. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you feel like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
He'll get this out wide here to Elliott. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A gain there of 21 yards.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
And his throw here's incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
Dallas, Texas is the spot, third quarter inside AT&T Stadium. Glad you're with us. 2nd and 10.
A toss right to Henry. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47.
This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher third down looming. And not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first. Oh, he's trying for Smith-Schuster, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Jamin Davis.
And he will take this across midfield and down to the 48-yard line.
So a potential momentum shifter there, working with a 2-score lead, third quarter, but that, not the smartest of throws.
I would agree with you on that one because this game is still very much in the balance. It felt pretty one-sided to this point, but now, if these guys can turn this turnover into points, things could start getting a little more interesting.
And he's going to be intercepted a third time.
And the Cowboys are going to have the short field here as they'll take over right at the 50. Well, their defense got them the football with an interception. They trot out there, Charles, at the very first play. They give the football right back.
Brandon, I almost expect you to come in like an auctioneer. We got 2, we got 2. Do I hear 3? Remember, it was 2 in a row. Would we hit 3 in a row? Because these offenses, they got to be a little bit more careful as they go forward. These defenders, they're locked in and really focused.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
From the 47 now, they work with a 2nd and 7.
There we go.
Now Prescott. Being chased out left. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
Prescott and Lamb hooking up for the Cowboy first.
I don't care how many times we say it, I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Yes! There we go. Wait,
Henry again on 2nd down.
And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line.
The 71 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front seven, reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing. Slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
Throw left side complete. That's Elliott. Just a gain of a couple there. And that's going to bring up 2nd down.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
This defense can use some more of these types of plays. How about him reading it, driving on the football, and he's right there for the pass breakup.
This offense so far on 3rd down, they've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. This will go to Henry out wide. And he does not get to the first down marker as they stop him at the 19.
Here's Dustin Hopkins now to try the field goal. This to make it a 3-score game late. Hopkins' kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
So that almost certainly the final piece to this puzzle, a 3-score lead. I don't think there's any coming back from there.
Well, you know, normally I'd get on you for giving up on the game right here, but I do think you're right in this case. This late in the game, 2 scores is tough enough. 3, I'm with you. That seems out of the question.
And they're going to have good starting field position. He's out of bounds, but not before he's across the 35.
The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the fourth quarter. This would be their 3rd straight defeat.
Slings this deep for McLaurin. And that is incomplete.
And they're at the point of the ball game now where they've got to take some chances. They've got to put the ball in the air and just see what happens. But this defense knows that all too well.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. They set up the screen to Chubb. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44.
They need 2. Here's 3rd down.
Tap the 60. Tap the 60. Chop alert. Chop alert.
Throwing now is Daniels. Oh, he'll take a shot from McCaffrey downfield.
And it's knocked away and incomplete.
I've got a good friend in football, always talks about predictive history. He's got one of their 2 touchdowns. You can understand why they tried to find him again. Weren't able to connect, but the thought, that was good.
Daniels going to throw for it.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over.
Washington goes for it, but it does not pan out.
And Dallas, they'll take over in terrific field position.
Yeah, here we go. Kill.
To throw is Prescott. Steps away to his left. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage.
And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts.
And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break.
Yeah, here we go.
Inside handoff, Henry. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line.
The Commanders going to use the 2nd of their timeouts.
And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. Prescott to throw it. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
They are certainly not letting up on the pressure in this one, and oftentimes you hear this expression, all gas, no break from defenses. But in this case, it's the offense still throwing the football up big in the fourth quarter.
And he's going to be stopped close to the first down marker at Washington's 12-yard line.
22.
Now Washington going to go ahead and use their final timeout.
So that will leave them with no timeouts left. Still plenty of time on the clock. We'll see how that affects things here in this fourth quarter. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. Here's Dustin Hopkins now to try the field goal. From the left hash, it's a 42-yard attempt.
Hopkins' kick is good.
But now there is a penalty marker on the field, so let's see what this is about.
Well, things obviously not going their way. Trailing here in the fourth quarter, and that penalty going to go ahead and give the other side some extra yardage.
We all know it's an intense game and things can get heated out there. That's part of the battle. But bottom line, you got to keep your cool. That was not an example of doing that.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. And we'll see if the defense wants to stop it as they take the knee. The Cowboys on their way to victory as they take a knee. Here's Dustin Hopkins now to try the field goal. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Hopkins' kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so.
Now a hit and a loose football. That's picked up by the Cowboys. And careless with a football there on the kick return.
And one thing I love about going to practices is trying to get around coaches and hear their catchphrases and what they really emphasize. We haven't been to a single one yet this year where a guy fielding a kick, you don't hear, tuck it away, tuck it away, tuck it away. And this time, they turned it over.
Ball security eluded him. Prescott, he goes down to a knee, and that should just about do it. So this one will end in a victory for the Dallas Cowboys. And when you break it down,